Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. We have covered up till now the first three topics of your paper 3. And today I'm actually starting the operating system, which is actually the chapter 20 of your book. So operating system or OS is going to be the topic of my today's lecture. You have been studying about operating system since your O levels. You might know that operating system is actually a system software, a collection of softwares that manages computer hardware and software resources and provide common services for computer program. Those common services actually include installation of other programs, launching of other programs, their error handling, interrupt handling. The sharing of resources are actually managed by the operating system. Multi-programming and multitasking is managed by the operating system. When you launch a program, the program is actually going to occupy space in RAM. It is going to require the time of the processor. All these resources are actually managed and distributed by the operating system. Operating system actually provides you the drivers as well, which helps you to run and control your hardware devices. When you actually switch on your computer, operating system is in the hard disk. When you switch your computer on, operating system cannot run at first. There's another program which has to actually find the operating system from the hard disk drive and load it, run it, so the operating system can take charge of the computer and start managing it, make it usable for the user of the computer. Excuse me. So that special program is stored in the read-only memory of your computer on the motherboard of your computer, which is also called BIOS or basic input output system. It starts the bootstrap program. Bootstrap program is responsible for the booting of your computer. It booting process means loading the operating system in your RAM. So the operating system can now take charge of the computer. So when you switch on the computer, BIOS start the bootstrap and bootstrap start the operating system. If it is unable to find the operating system on your hard drive, it just keeps prompting you that no operating system is found. And in case your operating system has crashed or your hard disk has crashed, your BIOS software keeps prompting you and your computer is not usable. An operating system have an external and internal viewpoint, so in terms of the purpose and use. Internally, it is managing all the activities which is going inside the computer. As I talked about the management of input and output devices, the allocation of RAM space, the allocation of the processor time to the different application softwares, the management of data being transferred from storage to processor or input output devices to processor and from processor to input output devices. All that activities actually goes on internally without user sensing those activities, without the user realizing those activities. And the external viewpoint actually relates to the facilities that made available for the system use. The graphical user interface you have is one of them. The user's experience of the operating system, that how operating system provides the user the facility of interacting with the computer. That is the external viewpoint of the operating system. And nowadays, it is very important that the interface of the operating system should be easy and intuitive, that the user can learn the operating system just by using it. It should be user friendly. Then maybe the most important part of the duties of operating system, the resource management. As I was mentioning earlier, there can be three different kind of resources: the CPU, because everything including the operating system, in order to run, in order to execute, the operating system itself requires the CPU time, the processing time from the CPU. Then every software, including the operating system, requires space in the random access memory. Every program which is running, which is being executed, has to be loaded into the memory. And lastly, the input output devices, the IO devices. That should not be one, that should be an IO devices means some softwares requires the functioning of input output devices as well. If I'm trying to capture an image using my webcam, the image capture software requires the access to the camera so that it can capture the image. So camera is also a resource required by that software. The CPU's management of resources actually concerns to scheduling. Why we need to schedule the CPU time? Because we want to use it efficiently. Your CPU is the brain of your computer and it's actually the fastest component of your computer system. All the other components like your main memory, your secondary storage devices, your output devices, they're all slower. So if CPU is working with all of them and they are slower than the CPU, that can cause some idle time for the CPU. Some waiting time of the CPU might occur. Remember that right now I'm talking about a single processor, single data core concept. I'm not talking about the parallelism of processors right now. So we need to schedule the tasks for the CPU in order to use the processing power of CPU efficiently. In one of our next lectures, we are going to learn about different CPU scheduling algorithms. The IR system actually just not actually about the use of input and output devices. As I told you, sometimes your programs need access to the input output devices as well. So which program is going to have access to your microphone? If you are recording sound or you're making an audio call, video call through internet as well. So different softwares are going to require your microphone. So the operating system will decide and manage how this resource will be shared among the different applications. And if there is a clash, so which application should take the preference in using the input output device? This diagram from your textbook actually shows you that with every hardware device, there is the device driver software as well that needs the time of processor and space in RAM as well. This driver has to be executed in order for computer to use that particular device. So input output is an important resource which has to be managed and shared among different applications and different tasks, and this is also done by the operating system. As I was telling you, the speed of CPU is incredibly high as compared to the other devices. In 1 second, maybe 1 trillion clock cycles are happening. Billions of clock cycles are happening in one single second. So 1 second for us is actually uh, billions of lifetimes for the computer. So if we are having the devices which are having so small rate of transfer of data, that is actually going to cause our computer to stay idle for a longer period of time. The scheduling done by the processor scheduling done by the OS actually ensures that the idle time of processor is actually minimized. This is what I meant by using the CPU efficiently, and this is one of the primary duties of primary functions of operating system, that devices having their slower data rate, slower transfer rate, have to be managed in a way that CPU don't sit idle waiting for those devices. The time of CPU can be shared with other applications, so that waiting time does not go idly, but that waiting time can be spent doing some other tasks by the CPU. Currently, I'm going to limit my lecture up till this point. In our next discussion, we are going to learn about the CPU scheduling algorithm. I would insist that you do read up on this topic from your book before continuing on to the next lecture. See you on Monday. Stay safe. Allah Hafiz.